but Max, I want to start with you. Should the Steelers be encouraged after the loss?
Absolutely. And the fact that they're saying no and Tomlin's saying no just speaks to the fact that they're a good organization, because you're not supposed to have the mentality that you take something away in a loss. But come on. The Patriots are, at this point, universally recognized as the best team in football. And anyway, they're always in the conversation of the 2 or 3 best teams every year now for a million years. And they're hot and they're on a roll. And they come into town fully loaded, and you don't have, look, what makes the Steelers special, really? I mean, obviously, Tomlin's a great head coach, but Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell are the difference behind that good offensive line. Yeah, everyone has strengths and weaknesses, good defense, good offense, whatever. What makes them different is those 3 skills position players who are future Hall of Famers, who are arguably the best at their positions in the NFL. You can make the argument for any one of them. It's phenomenal to have 3 guys like that on the same team. No, Martavis Bryant isn't playing. It's not really what it's about. It's about Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and obviously Ben Roethlisberger. They don't have Ben Roethlisberger. Down the stretch, they don't have Antonio Brown. They got Landry Jones playing kind of well, actually, against that Patriots defense, which is underrated, incidentally. And down the stretch, the wheels come off. You know why? Because no one can cover Gronk anyway. Yes, do they have issues in their secondary? And you guys will speak to this, I'm sure. Yes, they do, especially against tight ends. But against that tight end, guess what? He's going to get open. And even if he's not, he kind of still is open. And Tom Brady can still get him the ball. That was going to happen anyway. They miss a field goal, whatever. Can you take away a positive for beating or for being in the game and late in the 4th quarter against the best team in football when you don't have your starting quarterback or the best wide out arguably in the game? Yeah, you can take encouragement from that.
I respectfully disagree. I understand your point, but I don't agree with you, because when we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and possibly being Super Bowl contenders, we have to look at them and what they deliver on the defensive side of the ball. The fact of the matter is that it wasn't that Gronkowski had 4 receptions, 93 yards, or a touchdown. Did you see how wide open he was? I mean, my God, how do you get that wide open? And as big time as he is, he ain't the fastest dude in the world.
But nobody can cover him.
I'm not saying nobody can cover him. I'm saying, my Lord, be in the vicinity. I'm trying to, I mean, we were just looking for you because you were back there with researchers, and we were closer to you than some of the Steelers defenders were to him. And it's your job to be on to covering him. I mean, be in the vicinity. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have to be, and here is why. Here is why, Ryan Clark. Ask Coach Mike Tomlin, ask Todd Haley, ask the players when I showed up at Steelers camp. I have been harping on the Steelers defense for years. I have gotten on you because on far too many occasions, you've been Mr. Nice Guy when it comes to the Steelers. Nobody else, because, oh, my Lord, you're bringing it. But when it comes to the Steelers, I have felt that you have, dare I say, a bit passe. And so when I saw that tweet yesterday from you, I was like, it brought tears to my eyes. I'm really touched. Ryan Clark is seeing the light, because finally, he's vibing with me on these Steelers and their secondary. Come on, man. You can't do what they did yesterday. I'm trying to tell you right now, there needed to be an APB out for their secondary. I mean, Gronk, who the hell was assigned to guard him? Nowhere in the, and by the way, you had one situation where the safety actually ran to try to double up on a receiver and left Gronkowski alone. Who does that?
Ryan, what is the excuse for that? Gronk, you think they might throw the ball to Gronk with the game on the line?
Go ahead,
What's
Ryan.
the excuse?
Go ahead, Ryan. The floor is yours. Give it up, man.
So Molly read my tweet. She didn't read it very well.
I know, I'm sorry.
But we all, love her.
And Ryan, I've never heard you take this long to answer the question. What's the problem?
Cat got your tongue.
So we know that I love the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. Keep going.
Many of those guys on that defense are my friends.
Sure.
Yesterday was the most upset I have ever been watching a Steeler game.
Okay.
Not for the reason you mentioned, though. The fact that Gronk got open happens. He gets open on a lot of people.
That wide open?
We wouldn't consider him the best tight end in football if he didn't.
That wide open?
Here was my issue. When I put that tweet out, it was very early in the game. And it wasn't because people got open. It wasn't because Tom Brady was able to dissect the defense and find open people. Because I played when we were really good, and he was able to do that. But what Pittsburgh always is physical. Pittsburgh always plays hard. This defense has not. When you come off a game where you give up 204 yards rushing, you better believe somebody the next week has to pay physically. Now, if you can't cover Gronk, if you can't scheme up ways to strategize to keep them from completing passes, I'm okay with that. But when it's time to hunt, when it's time to go be dogs, you have to be, because that's what Pittsburgh is built on. When they play Renegade in the stadium, and then Joe Green finishes with that Hall of Fame chant, defense, defense, and it goes black on the screen, that means somebody got to get it. And when the Pittsburgh Steelers play defense, that's what it's about. This team does not do that. I was okay with the switch to bend but don't break. I was okay with playing zone because it better fits your people. But when the ball is snapped and when the person on the opposing team has the ball, you got to go get them. This team isn't going to get them.
So with that, you're saying that they lack that mentality, which it sounds to me like you're saying can be infused in a team over time. But even let's leave that alone. With all that said, with a backup quarterback, it's a one-score game late in the fourth quarter against the best team in the league.
The Patriots play bad. The Patriots drop balls. The Patriots miss blocks. They got penalties. The Patriots had a bad game. Landry Jones is a positive. Landry Jones is positive. The way he played, when you look at what Antonio Brown was able to do with backups last year compared to yesterday on Malcolm Butler all day, that is a positive. What I'm saying is, with Le'Veon Bell, with Antonio Brown, with who I think is a top tier. He's along with Brady. He's along with Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, a top tier quarterback in the league. They cannot win the Super Bowl, which Pittsburgh, that's how you judge Pittsburgh. This is not another team.
I never thought they were going to win the Super Bowl this year anyway.
So for me, there's no positive you can take from that, because when you're the city of champions, when every argument you ever have as a fan ends in, but we have
but you're
six
acting,
Super Bowls.
Wait. Let me stop you there, because the Steelers are a great organization, and growing up, he's a Steelers fan, and I was a Steelers fan before I was a Giants fan because they won the Super Bowl every year. But the Steelers' dominance has come in bursts. There have been long stretches. They're not the Patriots of the last 15 years where every single year they're making deep playoff runs or winning the Super Bowl. They haven't been a franchise like that. They've been a feast or famine in many respects throughout their history franchise. Let's not act like every year they don't win the Super Bowl. That's a lost year.
First of all, you talking about feast or famine. There's a lot of teams that never feast. So you can't say feast or famine like, oh, every once in a while you win a Super Bowl. They have 6, and that's the most ever.
Yes, and they're a good organization, which is why.
Coming into this year, Max, you can't tell me coming into this year with Ben Roethlisberger, with Le'Veon Bell, with Antonio Brown, we were not talking about this team as a Super Bowl contender.
Were. I didn't think they were.
And now you can't speak of this team with the defense playing that way in that breath.
Here's a bigger point. Here's a bigger point. 2014, 28th against the pass. Last year, 30th against the pass. This season, 28th against the pass. Their pass defense, primarily their secondary, and their ability to get at the quarterback without blitzing is so suspect that it leaves their defense with tremendous holes. Even with Gronkowski, I'm like, at least put a man on him. Steve, at least be in the vicinity.
But here's my argument to that: the rankings and the numbers. There were many years where the New England Patriots won Super Bowls, not in Tom Brady's early years, but when they were the best teams in football, and their rankings were that because they stiffened in the red zone and stopped people from scoring. So that is why coming into this year, man, that is why coming into this year, I felt like they could still win if they could stop people from scoring. I didn't mind them moving the ball.
Encouraging loss with your backup quarterback, who, by the way,
there's no encouraging loss.
There's not an encouraging loss.
Was a backup, was drafted in the 4th round, 2 backup.
Sorry, I know this one was personal.
Please.
Thank you. You're the only one who listens when I say go to break.
No
Ryan Clark will be with us later in the show. The First Take Your Take viewer contest is here. You can win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on national television. All you got to do is go to firsttakeyourtake.com, upload a 1-minute video with your and only your best original sports debate. Keep it clean, no music, team logos, trademarks, or copyright material. 2 winners will be selected by our show staff. Get to work, people. We want to see you here in Bristol schooling these 2 gentlemen. Here's a few of our latest submissions. Take a look.
First, it seems so cut and dry that the NFL should have suspended Josh Brown for the 6 games. Now, the amount of time he's actually suspended to anybody watching is irrelevant, but at least The NFL would have showed that it's taking its stand against domestic violence seriously.
Josh Brown cannot be given a chance, a second chance of any kind. The New York Giants have got to drop him immediately, and he should not be allowed to re-sign with any team in the NFL.
We've seen this play out before with Ray Rice, and I hate to even bring that situation up, but I've got to say, Stephen A., I think Josh Brown has sealed his fate, and I don't expect him to be a kicker in the National Football League ever again.
All three was good, but that last dude right there clearly was getting prepared to be on national television. I give him props for that. He showed up for the job interview.
With the backdrop, though.
I got to give it to him. I got to give it to him.
A senior picture. He looked like it was class picture time.
Right? Yeah, the sweet background. I like it. People are bringing it. The competition is getting real. Keep them coming. Meanwhile, will the real Bills please stand up? After 4 straight wins, Buffalo lost 28-25 to the Dolphins in Miami. Jay Ajayi ran all over Rex's defense, putting up 200-plus yards for the second straight week. Dude's unreal. Who are the real Bills? Max Kellerman.
Look, the Bills are a good team that are not quite elite, but remember when Rex was on the hot seat and Stephen A., you were starting to call for his job. And I was here saying, look, now he's embattled. His back is up against the wall. You know when it pays to be a player's coach? Right now. Because if these guys have any love for him and he knows what he's doing at all, they will rally around him, and that's what happened. Do you know when a player's coach has a hard time motivating his players? When they play normally in Buffalo and they're on the road in Miami in what's considered not the toughest divisional game. That's when a player's coach's team, I don't know if you can judge them. Buffalo team goes to Miami for a road game. They have a player's coach, kind of a lenient coach. Maybe they don't show up with their best performance. Same thing happens in the NBA when they go to LA sometimes. It's that kind of town.
Very simplistic for me. Rex Ryan is approaching his 6th consecutive year as a head coach in the National Football League, where he will be outside of the playoffs looking in. This is a devastating loss for the Buffalo Bills because of what it means in the AFC, considering the quality of teams in the AFC North and the AFC West in terms of the wild card spot, because we all know that Buffalo ain't winning the AFC East. You combine that with the fact that, Max, what did I say early in the show? It's about who you are, what your signature is, what your gift is. This man is a head coach because of how adroit, how skilled, how pristine he was as a defensive coordinator. You have the 27th ranked defense against the run in the National Football League. If you have problems on offense, but your defense is stout, we're not having this discussion. But the combination of you not making the playoffs, combined with what the reason would be this year, which would be your defense, is what makes this unforgivable.
Tyrod Taylor's got to play better, I think.
Sean McCoy wasn't healthy. He shouldn't have been out on the field. And now they're saying he might not be ready against New England because of it, too.
When you have the opponent backed up, like in their, what, 5 or 10 yard line, what, an 8 yard line in the fourth quarter, and you have a lead, you're supposed to win that game. But the point is, without their best player on offense, they lost the game close. The defense has been good at hitting the quarterback, not great against the run.
We asked you guys earlier in the show, are the Eagles a legit threat to the Cowboys? The results are in, and 56% say yes. So we're kind of right down the middle on that one.
I'm saying they could be right, but at the end of the day, considering how Dallas is winning and considering how the Eagles have lost or struggled, I'm worried about the Eagles in this question.
I think we could have I know they're in first place at the moment. I think we could have phrased the question opposite. Are the Cowboys a legit threat to the Eagles? The Eagles, actually, best point differential in the NFC.
So why are you going to talk about how the question should be phrased? You trying to say you don't want to debate, that you want Kevin and Antoine and Brian and Stephanie's job? Is that what you're trying to say? You're trying to say you don't want to be on the set? You want to tell them how to frame the question?
Make the show a lot easier.